Hi, this is Aditya and welcome to Shankamark Tech channel. In my previous video, I have introduced you to the concept of AEM resource resolver and also QueryBuilder. In this video, we are going to use the QueryBuilder API and actually query in the CRXDE and get few records, which are article records. This video is part of the AEM tutorials for beginners playlist, the link for which I'll give it out in the description box. Please check it out if you are interested. And please don't forget to subscribe to my channel. Let's get started with the presentation. So this is the component which we are trying to understand in our previous video. Okay, so we thought like this is the cards component, article list component, wherein each article will be displayed as a card. Okay, and this rice plantation and the description and this family picnic and description and flower garden and description are coming from the page properties. So that is what we have discussed. So this is our site structure. So if I just go into EN and articles, so this is where my articles are there. Okay, and in this, if I go into the page properties, so I will have the title and the description mentioned there. So this is the title and this is the description. So I need to access these field values and then I need to render it like this. Okay, so for that what we have discussed is this logic. Okay, so first we need to get the root path. Okay, so this root path we are getting as part of the dialog box. So if I just go into this article list component, so if I just open this article root path, so this is where we have given the ability for the authors to pick the articles root path. Okay, this is where you can pick the root path. And then the second step which we thought is we need to get the list of all the articles under this root path. Like if I just go into this root path, which is articles, I have these three of them, right? So somehow I need to query the database and get the list of all these three articles. So that is the second step which we thought we need to do. And the third step which we need to take is we need to get the properties of each articles. Okay, so we got the list of the articles. Then I need to go into each and every article and open the properties and see what is the title and what is the description, and I need to prepare a list of all the titles and description for each of these articles. Then as a final step, we will have to pass it on to our UI and then render this component. Okay, and that rendering has to be done as like this. Okay, so these are the 4 steps which you need to do. That is what we have discussed as part of our previous video. Okay, so this part we have completed already, how to get the root path. So we have created the component and we have created a Sling model, and from which we are getting this article path. So if you haven't watched this already, I'll give out the previous videos link in my description box. Please watch it out and then come up onto this video. Okay, so this is what we have done in our previous video. Okay, so we have imported the resource resolver. So we have understood what is this resource resolver and how do we get the resource resolver in the model. And then we also understood what is the session, what is the importance of this, and from resource resolver, how do we adapt it, and how do we get the query builder and from the resource resolver. This is what also we have seen. So this is the syntax to pass the query parameters into the query. Okay, so how do we do it? So we'll create a map and we'll say what is the path and what is the article root path. So just as we have seen in the query builder UI, so in the same way we pass these query parameters, and then finally we use this query builder which is this variable, and we create a query. So in the create query we are passing this predicate which is this map. Okay, so this is the syntax. So we say predicate group dot create and then we pass the predicate, then it will concatenate everything and form the query in its own understandable way. And then we also pass the session so that it can use that session and it can actually query in the database. Okay, so this is what we have done until our previous video. So now what we need to do is we need to use this query and actually get the parameters which we need. Okay, I will show the syntax now for this. Okay, so this is the syntax which we use to actually get the query results. Okay, so we use the search query class. Okay, so anytime if you want to know about this class, all we need to do is just Google out what is this. So we'll say AEM and then just give the search results. Then you will get the related component for it, like the related class for it. So you can see what is the description of it. Okay, here. So you can see here search results represents the search results of a JCR query. So that's what it is. It is the out of the box class which we can use. Okay, so you use the query and get results, and then you will put it in the search results. Then this search results, right? So if you see this description here, if you come down, you get something called as get hits. Okay, so this is the method which we are using here. Okay, search results dot get hits. Okay, and what is the return type for this is mentioned here. Okay, it returns Java util list hit. Okay, so this hit again is a class, right? So if you want to know what is this class, all you need to do is just open this in a new tab. Okay, so then you will understand what is the description of that class. Okay, so this is the description. Hit represents a single search results, that is a node and resource. Okay, so now when you said get hits, it returned you the list of hits, wherein the hit is just one record, a single record, which has satisfied your search results. So if there are 3 pages, then all those 3 pages will be stored as part of this list of hits. And then when you are querying, when you are looping and getting each of this page, you will get each page as a hit. Okay, each page details will be stored as part of this hit. Okay, so that's how it is. So let's see what is the next code. Okay, so now this is a lambda function. So what we are doing here is we are doing this search.get results. So as a result, we will get list of hits. Then what this syntax means is it will take the first element of these hits. Okay, so let us suppose there are 3 records. Okay, 3 pages. So it will take the first page, it will put it in this hit, and it will run this code. Then once all this for loop is done, again it will come and it will take the next element, which is the next page, it will put it in the hit, and again it will execute. Then again it comes over, it will take the next element, and so on and so forth. So the loop goes on until all the elements in this list are exhausted. So that's how this syntax works. So now the first result we got it in the hit. Now again, what is this hit? The explanation is given here. If you see the details, you have something called as get path. Okay, if you just click on it, they will explain what is that get path. So it will return the path of the current hit. So that's what we are trying to do, like get the path of the page which has satisfied these conditions. Okay, so I have done the get path. So once I got the path, what I'm doing is using the resource resolver. As I told, the resource resolver is nothing but a database connection, right? It is a connector to the database. So you can query, you can delete, edit, and do whatever you want database operations using this resource resolver. So what I'm trying to do now is I'm trying to read the database. So I'm trying to get a resource which is there at a particular path. So what is this path? So if I go to my AEM instance, right, so this is the root path which I have selected, right? Content we can do as CN articles. So this is my root path. So if I go to the CRXDE and query for my root path, these are the 3 child elements which I am seeing here, right? So these 3 are the child elements. So the query which I have given here, path is equal to article root path and type is equal to CQ page type, will return me these 3 pages, right? These 3 pages it will return. So when I am getting the path here, okay, when I say get path, what is the path which I am getting here? So it is the path of this page. Okay, so whatever you are seeing the path here, that path you will get it as part of this get page path. So using that page path, I am getting the resource available at that particular path. So what is this resource? What we get as part of this resource? Okay, so you see here the rice plantation. So this node and these details will be part of the resource. So everything, this and this will be part of the resource page. Okay, so that's what we are getting. Okay, so then what I'm doing is I am adapting this resource into a page, because if you see here, what is the primary type of this particular node or resource? It is CQ page, right? So everything is a resource, but how do what is the type of this particular resource? It is a page. So since this is of page type, what I can do is I can adapt this resource into page. Okay, so which is equivalent to saying article resource dot get page. Okay, so so instead of telling get page, I'm just saying adopt to page class. Okay, so what I get as a result is article page. So what's the difference between this resource and page? So why should I adapt it to the page? Okay, so if I adapt it to the page, what happens is I'll get this JCR content also. Okay, so in the resource I'll get only this part. This is the resource. But if I adapt it to the page, then I will have the access to the JCR content also. I can easily get all these variables which are there as part of the page properties. Okay, so that's why I am adapting it to the page. Okay, so then what I need to get here is the title. Okay, I need to get title here, and here I'll say get title. Okay, so I have a get title function as part of the page properties, so I'm just directly using that get title and getting the title. Okay, so then I'm getting the page, so I'm getting the path here. Okay, I'm getting the title and I'm getting the description. Okay, so these three things I'm getting it now. So what I want to do is I wanted to test whether my code is working here until here fine or not. So how do I test this code whether it is working until here or not? Okay, so the one way of testing is we can use the plugin and we can use the AEM in debug mode, and we can debug it line by line using this IDE. That is one approach. And the second approach is by using this debug loggers. So I personally recommend using debug loggers, because once this code goes into the QA or production, right, we will not be able to debug it using the IDE. So if there is any issue in the QA environment or production environment, then it will be easy if you have all these debug loggers in place. All you need to do is enable the debug loggers, and then automatically you will be able to debug your code. Okay, so let's compile this and let's see how to debug this code until here. Okay, so I'll just add a path also here. I would like to just print the path to here. Okay, so then let's see how this logger gets printed in the log file. Okay, so I'll just add here the path variable also. This is a placeholder. So whatever we are giving the flower brackets here, this is a placeholder. So the first value, whatever is there, the first variable value will come here, then the second variable value will come here, and third variable value will come here. So this is how we put the placeholders, and then using comma separated we give multiple variables. So this is the way we log. This is the syntax to print the logs. Okay, so now let's compile this and see how it works. Okay, so now the build is successful. So let's go into the UI and see how to enable the loggers first. Okay, so we have written a code to write the logs, right? But we need to enable those loggers. So how do we do that? So we just click on the add new, okay, and then just put this to the debug level, okay, and we just will give the name. Okay, I'll give the name as article list, okay, and then I'll go to my code and I'll see what is my package. Okay, so this is my package. So first I'll give my package name. So if I give until here, then what happens is all the classes, all the Java code which are there under this package will get logged in this file. If I don't want that to happen, what I can do is I can give dot this class name. I can give the exact class name so that it will log only the logs in these classes. Like for example, this kind of logs and this kind of logs. So only the loggers which are present as part of this class only will be logged if you give until this class level. Otherwise, whatever classes are there as part of this package, you will get logged in this file. Okay, so now what I have done, I have given the exact class in which I want the loggers to be enabled. So I just save this. So now if I refresh, so I need to see that article list.log. Okay, so now I am seeing that. So now what I need to do is to enable to test if the loggers are writing or not. I just need to refresh this page so that this component will get reloaded. So the page is refreshed. So now what I need to do is I need to just open this log to see what exactly got printed. Okay, so if you see the rice plantation, family picnic and flower garden, these three got exactly printed. So that is what we wanted, right? So if you see our article page, inside that we created three records, three articles. So I have got the paths of the 3 articles. See here, the path, I have got the exact path. Okay, so that's what I wanted. I wanted the path and I also wanted title and description, right? So all these things I have got properly. So now what is pending is I need to somehow send this into my HTML UI. Okay, and I need to access all these variables in UI. So how can I do that? So that is what we need to see now. Okay, so here I have 3 variables. One is path and another is title and the third one is description. So I have 3 paths. Okay, so if I just have one variable, what I can do is I can just give one getter here and I can access that one variable. But I have 3 variables here. So how can I pass these 3 variables? So that's what we need to think now. Okay, so for that what I am going to do is I am going to create a data structure which can hold these 3 variables. Okay, so what is that data structure? In Java language it is called as a Java bean. Okay, so what I'll do is I will go into the core. Okay, and I'll create a folder called beans. Okay, and in these beans I will create a new bean. Okay, bean is nothing but a Java class. Okay, so I'll name it as a article list. Article list data bean. Now the bean is created. Now I want this to hold 3 variables, right? One is path and other one is title and the third one is description. So these 3 variables I have created. So I have created a data structure basically which can hold these 3 values together. Okay, so these 3 values are held as part of this class. That is what I meant by data structure. Okay, so since these 3 are private variables, I need to put the setters and getters. Okay, for this to set and get. So automatically IDE will recommend all this. So I'll just put the public first. I'm putting the getters. Okay, how do I get this description? Okay, and get path and get title, all these getters I have put, and now I'll put the setters also. Okay, how do I set the description? Okay, and then set path and then set title. So these 3 things I have set. Okay, so I have put the setters and getters for these 3 variables. So now what I need to do is I am getting these 3 variables here, right? I need to set these variable values into this class. Okay, and this data structure I would like to pass it on to the HTML here so that I can access the data structure here. Okay, so we'll write the code to do exactly that. Okay, so what I'll do is, so this is this is not just one article, right? So this is 3 articles. So I need to create a list first. Okay, so I am creating a list. Okay, this is an array. Okay, list is nothing but an array. So I wanted a list of what data type? Okay, I wanted a list of this data type, this data structure type which I have just created. Okay, so I wanted an array which is of type this one. Okay, so now I will create a new array list. Okay, and I'll again give this type. Okay, so I'll just import this class. Okay, and I need to import this too, and I need to give a variable name here. Okay, so I'll say article list data bean array list. Okay, or else I'll say just array. Okay, so this is what I have named it. So I am creating an array which is of this data type. So now what I need to do is I need to actually create this class here. Okay, I'll in this for loop I will create this class. Okay, article list data bean equal to new article list data bean. So I have created this class now. Okay, so I have created a variable of type this data structure. Now what I need to do is I need to set these values. Okay, set this path description, path title description, right? So I will set it here. I will say article list data bin dot set path, and I'll pass path. Okay, and then I will say article list data bin dot set title, and I'll pass title. Then article list data bin dot set description, and then I will set description here. Okay, so now I have set all these variables. So now this is just one article data I have set. Okay, so in the for loop it has taken the first article, so then it took what is the path of that first article, then what is the title of that first article, what is the description of that first article it took, then it will set this path, title and description into this data structure. But what I wanted is I wanted to store all article details like this. So what I'll do, I have already created an array, so I will just insert this data structure into this array. So I'll just add, and I'll say insert this data structure. Okay, so now let's see how the flow works. So first record it will take, then it will create this data structure. Okay, and then it will take the what is the path and what is the title, what is the description, it will set it, and then it will add it to the array list. Then again it goes on to the top, it will take the next record, again it will create a new data structure, then again it comes here, it will set the path, set the title, set the description, and insert it into an array, and again it will go like that until all the articles are done. It will loop through and it will set all the article details which are set as part of this data structure into this array. So now all I need to do is I need to pass this array into my UI. Okay, so how do I pass it? I need to declare this as a global variable in order to pass that. Okay, so I will declare first this as a global variable. Okay, and I will just assign it to null. So then I will come down, and here I will directly set this initialize this global variable here. Okay, and now since this is a global variable, I can put one method here which is a getter. Okay, I will say public get article this is of so I will say public list article list data bin. Okay, the return type is list of article list data bin. That's what I wanted to return, right? This is the global variable which I wanted to return. Okay, so I have just put one getter. Okay, so now I can access this method in the Slightly code. I have already told the syntax as to how to access it. So if you want to know in depth onto how to access in the Slightly, I have created already a video on Slightly syntax. You can refer that. I'll put the link in the description box. But I'll just give an overview in this video as to how to access this variable. So now what I need to do is I got the article root path here. Okay, so this is also a getter which I have put, right? Article root path, that getter is here. Okay, so this is the getter which I have put, and this is what I am using. So how I am using it? I am just giving article root path. Okay, so what I actually did is I just copy pasted this method. Okay, I just copy pasted this method and I removed this get, and I put this first variable as small letter. Then I will be able to access this method. Whatever method is there here, this method I will be able to access it in the Slightly code. Okay, similarly what I will do is I will loop through now. Okay, I will just say sly, and how do I loop through? I use data sly list, right? Data sly list article list equal to, and then I will say modal dot, since this entire article list data model, this data model has come into this variable now, right? Model. Okay, so I can access it as model. So model dot I will do, and I will go here, and this is my method, right? So I will copy paste this method name into here, and then similarly I will just do, I'll remove the get and I'll put this as a small letter. Okay, so then I'll close this. So now it will get the value. So whatever is the return type of this one, right, this global variable, it will return this and it will put it into this article list. Okay, so now I have this list. So now I can use this article list variable to actually print the title, path and description. Okay, let's see how. Okay, so let's try to understand the entire flow again. Okay, so now we loaded the page. Okay, and this model is adapting that resource. I already told it is the page path which is getting adapted. Okay, then our whatever we have given the path in the dialog box, it got injected, right? Then it went into here. So after injecting all these variables, then the control goes to the post construct. Okay, so here it is getting the resource resolver, and again all this query builder and all this logic will get executed, and here our global variable is getting set. Okay, after all this is getting executed, then the control comes into here. Okay, so then you are telling this get this method. Okay, you are executing this get method. Okay, so then what happens, it will return the this method which is already loaded. Okay, whatever value is there, it will return this. So then it will come here. Okay, so then this is the for loop. Okay, so what are we saying here? If you see my previous video in which I have explained this in detail, article slide data list, what happens is the first element of this array will come into this variable first. Then again it will execute whatever is there in between these slide commands. Whatever is there, it will execute that. Then it will again go on to the top, and then it will again read the next element and again execute whatever is there in between. So like that this list will loop through. So every time each element will come into this article list. Now if we see this return data type, this is list of what? This article list data bin, right? So now what is the data type of which is there as part of this article list? Okay, if you take one element from the array, what will be the data type of this article list? It is nothing but this article list data bin, because the list which you are getting is a list of this data type, right? If you take one element, what will be the data type of that? This only, right? So this article list data, article list, this variable will be of data type this article list data bin, right? Again in this article list data bin, we again have getters and setters, right? You again have getters. So you can execute these getters from here, right? So that's what we are going to do. How do we do that? Again the same syntax. Okay, we'll just put dollar and then we will say, oh sorry, I think we have to put the brackets here too. Okay, so now we'll use this variable, right? So this variable we'll use and dot. So what is the data type of this variable? As we have seen, it is of article list data bin. So we go to article list data bin, and let us suppose we want to access what is the title. Okay, so we go here and paste this and just remove this get and put this to the small letter. So this is how you execute the title. Okay, so then we will just give a br command here. Okay, we'll just give br, and then we will say again article list dot, and then let us suppose we want to access this description. So we copy this method, we paste it here, and we just remove this get and put this to small letter. Okay, the first letter should be always small. So like this we will do. Okay, so this will give us the values in the UI. Let's test if this is working or not. Let's compile this now. Okay, looks like there is some error. Okay, I think I have put some extra flavor bracket here. That's the error. Okay, so let me remove that and now test it. Okay, so it's compiled right now. So let me test it. So now if I just refresh this page, EN page, so now I need to see all that getting printed. Okay, as we can see, we got the description and also this rice plantation. Okay, so I think everything is getting printed together. Our BR tag is not working properly, but here you can see rice plantation, here you can see family picnic, and here you can see flower garden, right? So this is how we access all that data in the UI. Okay, so now we have seen how to create the model and how to pass, how to create a data bin and how to pass that data structure into UI, and then how to access the individual variables in the UI. All this we have seen until now. Okay, so now in my next videos, what I'll show to you is how can we do the CSS and how can we do the front-end tasks to make it appear like the cards, as we have seen in our Figma image earlier. In my first video, I have shown you the Figma link as to how it should appear. So how can we make it to look appear like the cards? So for that we need to work on the CSS and HTML front end. So how can we do that in AEM? That's what we are going to see in my next video. Okay, that's it for now. Thank you.